This is the first in a series of short videos I'm going to address a subject my entire career has been dedicated to: use of force, control and restraint techniques. Now, before I start demonstrating some proven practical techniques in this and other videos, let's address a few issues to appreciate the difficulty police, military and security officers face every day here in the UK. Use of force is applied as a last course of action and can include the use of batons, tasers, ballistics, as well as hand-to-hand control and restraint techniques. In these videos, I'm going to concentrate on the control and restraint element of the use of force agenda. Around the world, police, military and security personnel will have a different approach to these essential life-saving skills. But it's worth knowing that officers here in the UK might only get 1 day per year to become competent and confident at these techniques, whilst in Canada, for example, the same amount of time is dedicated every month on average. For me, this is a national scandal and clearly illustrates why so many officers feel no confidence when they find themselves in a potentially violent confrontation, and therefore resort to using a baton, where the opportunity to control the amount of force used is much more difficult. Over the last 25 plus years teaching military, police and security officers, I have seen the use of force training systems evolve at least 11 times, which has in some cases improved the delivery of the content, but in my opinion has been more about reducing liability and protecting the aggressive individuals our frontline officers have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. As a result, a majority of control and restraint modules are delivered on a 2-to-1 principle to assist the officers in detaining the individual without serious risk of injury. Easier said than done. This is a great practice in the training arena, but I assure you, not so effective in a real confrontation unless you have two very well trained officers with exceptional communication skills. Finally, we have to appreciate the type of individual we are likely to encounter. Drink, drugs and mental health issues are often a serious game changer, which are difficult to simulate in a training arena. With all of these things considered, I'm going back to basic in these videos and will demonstrate some control and restraint techniques that with practice can become an essential part of an officer's skill set, especially when they have good communication skills. Now, it's important to note, I have worked with too many trainers over the years that deliver a control and restraint session in which they expect an officer to apply a successful technique without first creating a foundation. The foundation of any technique is the initial strike to distract the individual's train of thought and therefore buy time for the technique to be executed. I have and always will prefer to teach the traffic light striking policy, as it provides a clear list of yes and no strike areas. They include green, amber and red zones, which I'm going to highlight on this video now. Let's start with green zones. These are areas of the body with large muscle and fleshy groups, which are effective areas to strike in order to subdue the individual and allow for a secure entry into a control and restraint based technique. Amber zones are predominantly joints that when struck will create potentially more damage, such as a fracture or a breakage. And finally, we come to red zones. These are locations around the body where the risk of serious injury is high, so therefore they are only ever struck when it's a last option. Now, your choice of strike zones will be led by the situation you find yourself in and the severity of the threat you experience. Other factors will include how many people are potential threats and are there any weapons you can see, although in fairness, if you spot a weapon you'll normally have a higher level of intervention, such as a baton. Now let's add alcohol and drugs into the mix, and you start to see that officers normally work in groups because this is a very difficult situation to find yourself in. So we now understand the traffic light strike policy and the type of environment or individual we might encounter. It's no wonder that trained officers get hurt regularly and sometimes apply excessive force, which the sort of media like to jump all over. By the way, I've had the displeasure of working with many dickhead officers who possess poor physical and communication skills and are on some kind of warped power trip because of wearing the uniform. I appreciate these people exist, but they're not the majority. So now we've understood all of this, I'm going to show you today in this video a couple of mode 1 exercises. Mode 1 exercises are a way of practicing the basic elements of the technique but without actually receiving a strike, so they're from a grab. We call them mode 1s. So I'm going to show you a few of those today, and then in the next video we're going to start breaking them down and doing some scenarios against what we call flinch blocking, i.e. throwing strikes at us, and grab defences, grab release defences. So enjoy. Give us some feedback, and know that in October and November of this year we are working with Anytime Fitness in Milton Keynes to run a seminar for emergency services staff. So that might be paramedics, police officers, security personnel, prison staff, and we're going to go back to basics and bring some of these control and restraint techniques to the forefront in one of those seminars. So look out for it through our social media page. Have a safe day.